I used to think the worst pain imaginable was losing the person you love. Turns out I was wrong. The real pain is discovering they never once feared losing you. It all began on a Friday night, the kind that sinks quietly into routine, but hum the refrigerator is the only sound, and the air still carries the faint smell of dinner. Rosemary, garlic, the ghost of a normal evening hiding the rot underneath. Claire, my wife, had texted earlier, running late. Work drinks. The same line she'd used for months, polished from overuse. For a while, I'd chosen to believe her. But belief without proof isn't trust. It's voluntary blindness. So I stopped believing, and I started watching. The cameras weren't cheap. Silent, well hidden. One tucked inside the living room clock, another fixed near the hallway light. She never noticed. Too busy scrolling through her phone, too absorbed in a life she thought I couldn't see. That night, I parked my truck across the street. Rain slid down the windshield in steady rhythm, the kind of sound that feels almost cinematic when everything's coming undone. I opened the app on my phone. The live feed flickered to life. For a while, nothing, just the empty living room. Then, headlights cut through the dark. A car rolled into our driveway. Not hers. A man got out, early 30s, tall, the kind of guy who lives at the gym. Hair slicked back with too much effort. Confidence radiating like a shield. He didn't even glance around. Arrogance has a way of making people careless. The front door opened. She let him in. No hesitation. No guilt. Just a smile. The kind of smile I hadn't seen in months. Something inside me went still. Not rage. Not heartbreak. Just that cold click of awareness that tells you the damage was done long before tonight. I watched him settle on the couch, her leaning in close, his hand grazing her knee, smooth, rehearsed. Every second was proof. But proof wasn't what I was after anymore. I wanted truth. 10 minutes later, the front door opened again. She froze. He turned. It was me. I didn't slam the door or shout. I just walked in like it was any other night coming home from work. Calm steps. Steady breath. The air thickened, heavy and silent. "Ethan," she started, voice shaking. He straightened, defensive but uncertain. "Hey, man," I said evenly, "maybe we should sit." He hesitated, then sank down onto the couch. Claire's eyes darted between us, panic rising in her voice. "Please, let's just talk about this." "I've been talking for months," I replied quietly. "You just stop listening." The words hit the room like stones dropped into water, quiet but deep. I walked to the kitchen counter, opened a drawer, and pulled out an envelope I'd placed there earlier. Inside were photos, stills from the cameras, time-stamped, organized. I slid them across the table. Her face went pale. "This isn't what it looks like," she whispered. "It's exactly what it looks like," I said. The guy's jaw tightened. "You don't have to humiliate her like this." I turned toward him. "You walked into another man's home. You humiliated yourself." Silence settled, thick, suffocating. I leaned against the counter, watching them both. I could call the police. I said evenly, trespassing, adultery, maybe even theft, since you've both been living comfortably in my house. His expression shifted, the first flicker of fear. Claire's hand shook, her breathing shallow. But I didn't yell. I didn't want noise. This wasn't about chaos. It was about control, reclaiming what had been quietly stolen. I reached for my phone, tapped a few buttons, and turned the screen toward them. The live footage played, just minutes before I walked in. Her laughter, his touch, their betrayal. He went pale. She covered her mouth. "Think about it," I said softly. "You didn't just betray me, you documented it for me." Her eyes filled with tears. "Ethan, please." But my mind was made up. This night wasn't about forgiveness. It was about ending the illusion. The trap wasn't meant to confine her. It was to free me. She believed she was hiding a secret life, but I'd already reset the board. Her tears fell fast. Once they'd moved me, now they just looked like part of the act. Another performance from someone who lied long enough to believe her own script. "I made a mistake," she stammered. "It didn't mean anything." "That's the thing about mistakes," I said quietly. "They don't happen 3 nights a week." Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. The man shifted, glancing toward the door, weighing guilt against escape. You can leave, I told him. But before you do, check your phone. He frowned, pulled it from his pocket, looked down, and froze. His face drained the color. What the hell? I'd send the same email I'd sent Claire. Screenshots, timestamps, even messages from the work phone she thought I didn't know about. The note at the bottom was simple. Don't come near my home again. Don't contact her. Everything's documented. He looked up, jaw clenched. You're sick. I know, I said evenly. I'm thorough. He left without another word, his footsteps echoing like punctuation marks down the hallway. The door clicked softly shut behind him. Then it was just me and Claire. The house felt heavier, almost sentient, like it knew what had just broken. I don't know why you did this, I said finally, but I know who you become. She stepped closer, eyes red, hands trembling. Ethan, please. I didn't plan this. It just happened. I was lonely. You were distant. We drifted. Her excuses spilled out like water through cracked glass. I didn't interrupt. I just listened. To the rhythm of someone trying to rewrite history. You want to know what loneliness really is, Claire? I said softly. It's lying next to someone who's already gone, and you've been gone for months. Her face crumpled. She sank to the floor, whispering apologies between shaky breaths. I wanted to feel something, anger, pity, grief, but there was nothing left. I walked into the study, opened the drawer, and pulled out the file I'd been preparing. Divorce papers. Signed, notarized, finalized. Her name already beside mine. When I laid them on the table, she stared like they were something radioactive. You all ready? Yes, I said. I already did. Her breath caught. So that's it? You're just ending it like this? I ended at the moment you brought someone else into our home. I replied, tonight was just the evidence catching up. The rain outside had stopped. The world had gone still, except for the faint hum of the refrigerator and her quiet sobs. I slipped off my wedding ring and placed it beside the papers. I'm not angry anymore, I said. Just free. She looked up, eyes wide, desperate. Ethan, we can fix this. You can't fix what you don't respect. I turned toward the door, then paused. You'll find a key under your name on the mortgage. The house is yours now. The memories, too. I'm not staying. Her voice cracked. Where will you go? A faint, tired smile touched my lips. Anywhere that doesn't echo your voice. Outside, the night air hit my face. Cool, sharp, honest. I looked back through the window once. Saw her still on the floor, clutching the ring like it could undo everything. But I didn't feel loss. I felt clarity.